This is Visionary New Earth Leaders Podcast with me, Jenny Lyon, empowering visionary healers, entrepreneurs and leaders ready to actualize their fullest potential by expanding their consciousness and embodying 5D leadership and blending cutting-edge energy tools with business innovation and strategy to create impact and raise the world's vibration. I'm your host, Jenny Lyon Rainbow Anderson, and I am a New Earth business mentor, a channel and master healer. I'm also the leader of my own business. I have 23 plus years experience in energy work, mentorship and coaching. I'm a married mother of 2 based outside London in the UK. If you're ready to step into New Earth leadership and 5D consciousness, this is the channel to tune into and learn about embodied New Earth leadership, the power of self, energetic solutions to leadership, spiritual entrepreneurship, and joyful feminine creation. This is the vortex supporting the leaders into the new earth. Hello and welcome back to Visionary New Earth Leaders. Jenny Lyon here. I'm so excited to be talking to you today about the second conscious leadership archetype that I wanted to cover in this series. So if you haven't dived into it yet, the first episode on these conscious archetypes was 2 weeks ago. So you can go back to episode 32 and you can have a look there. So the second one of the conscious leadership archetypes that I'm going to talk about today is the visionary. So the visionary is connected with the soul contract number 4. And I'm going to explain to you much more about this number and why I actually chose to talk about it today, because there's 7. So after today, we have 5 more to go. It simply stood out to me today, and 4 is a number that I don't have in my birth chart. And I think 4, the frequency of the 4 is a frequency that's really helped me step into visionary leadership. It has helped me to trust the flow of the universe, and it is also connected with success, achievement, abundance. Basically, there is an overflow of everything in the frequency of the 4. So I have 3 13 4s in my overlay name, which is my Jenny Lyon Rainbow Anderson. So I will be talking about the 13-4 as another archetype actually on its combination, so 13 and 4 together. But today we're talking about the 4 on its own, which is the visionary. So my own experience with the 4 is very much like I did not live in a world where I trusted the flow of the universe. I always felt like I was a victim of circumstances as opposed to leader of my own life. And this all kind of bopping along, with no sort of specific goal. And I think many people live like this, I think it's really common to grow up and maybe you had lack of guidance or you didn't have parenting perhaps that were really sort of helping you, supporting you to become visionary. And instead you kind of just bopped along and did your best and tried to figure it out yourself. And not maybe all of you feel this way, but that's how I felt for a long time. I didn't have goals. I didn't understand that I could create my own life. I didn't understand that I was the creator of my own life. I thought it was a circumstantial event as opposed to a creation of my own destiny. And I do feel like a lot of people live this way. So the visionary. So let's dive into number 4. So number 4 in Hebrew is Daled. And the key word for this number is trust. And I think trust is one of the things that helps us create and manifest our dreams. Because if we have unwavering trust in ourselves, that we are supported, that we are loved, that we are guided, we will always succeed, because that's how the law of the universe work. When we trust, the universe gives us back. And that is the very, very energy of number 4. So let's talk about this in leadership. So a visionary is somebody who has a lot of ideas, and they can foresee the future trends. They operate from a place of no fear. They come from a place of certainty, and they take bold steps. And in this positive state, they are visionaries, and they're inspiring others with their forward thinking and confidence in the unknown. And this is the whole thing, right? So when we trust in the universe, in ourselves, and in creation, and in God, if you like, we move forward without evidence, right? So this is the energy that we really want to tap into in leadership, and especially leading into the new earth, because every single thing that we want to create, implement, change, contribute with has not been done before, because we are creating and contributing from a higher level of consciousness. So every single thing that we are contributing with looks slightly different than it did 50 years ago. And it's going to keep changing like this. And people and leaders in all industries are going to wake up. They are awakening, and they're going to want to combine their new innovative ideas and insights and downloads into their current position, their business, what they see in their mind's eye, the change that they're here to have impact with, etc. So it's like they are going to even have to trust more. Because if it's never been done before, and if it's never been, there's no sort of proof that, we are going through an awakening right now. There's no exact proof. We just know that people are going through huge shifts on a personal relationship, money, business, entrepreneurship level, organizational, governmental. Like there is a huge shift that happens to the structures of this world right now. So when we don't have an evidence, and when we don't have the knowing that it's going to 100% happen or succeed or manifest, the human nature is to bring in fear and doubt and lack of trust, right? So I'm here to help you come into your body, fully trust and use the energy of the 4 in your visionary leadership to manifest, anchor and create exactly what you see in your mind's eye without fear, knowing in deep in your heart that it's going to happen, it's going to succeed, you're going to achieve what you set out to achieve, and you're here for the long run. So the visionary in a very positive aspect, or the 4 if you like, Daled, is the positive aspects is the energies are drawn from the sun, and the positive aspect of strength, light, purity, perfection, radiation of spirit, creative and loving pouring from self. So it's basically very generous, duplication of sharing. And they often say people who have the adverse to being a visionary is to be self-centered and not being generous. And that's the negative connotation of the visionary. It's the self-centered, sort of more arrogant, self-centered person, basically. So the remedy for overcoming self-centeredness is to share very generously of yourself, of your ideas, of your love, and of your presence. And often the remedy is to have children to do this, because we have to become completely selfless to really adapt into parenthood. So the other things that I wanted to say about leadership as such for people with fours. So remember as well, so even if you have fours in your talent positions, or if you have fours in your goals or karma positions, you can still utilize the positive aspects of the four. It just means that if you have it in a karmic or a goal position, or even in your soul destiny, it can mean that you will have to work through some of your trauma. You'll have to clear some of your own shadows and things like that, so that you can come into the full trust of the flow. And once you've done, keep working on the deep inner work and, clearing yourself and committing to the healing journey and personal transformation journey, you can then sort of surrender into the four and actually get the positive aspects and really embody the positive aspects of the four. Hence, or even if you have it in a karmic position. And that's kind of the goal, right? We're here to transmute the karmic and goal positions into gifts, so that we become completely, let's say you had a 4 in karma or 4 in karma, it just means that you have to really surrender to the universe and learn to trust the flow of the universe through different practices and clearing your trauma, clearing your baggage, basically. And then once you've transmuted it, you can then step into this full visionary leadership. So it's also if you have fours in the overlay. So I have that in Jenny Lion, Rainbow Anderson, and so I optimized my name in 2010. And since I've done that, that's now 14 years I've had this name at this point when I'm talking to you right now. It changed very rapidly, within this first sort of 3, 4, 5 weeks, I actually started to notice bigger differences. Within 6 months, my life was completely changed in so many ways. But I wanted the 4 because I also wanted to really focus on creating a successful business, become a successful leader, become, a change maker in the way I see myself. So the 4s were very apt to put in my overlay because that was something I wanted to achieve. So the 4s are very good at making money. They're good at working with and managing a lot. So they're kind of very good at multitasking. They can have, projects and people, consultancy on the go. They're really, sort of versatile. They share knowledge, information, and success. They are very success and achievement orientated. And it's funny, some of my people that I know, other entrepreneurs and friends, they just know that they say that I talk about success a lot. I say it's, successful in my own, how I interpret success. But I think that was something that I also started to use a lot more, since I optimized my name, because success became a part of what I want to create, on every level here in life and in business too. So 4 is also open to new opportunities, and they are very good at forecasting the future. So this is like the visionary, right? And feeling into the trends, feeling into the innovations. They're also very good for statistics, economics, teaching, accountancy, research, science, financial advising. And the 4 is also connected with abundance. Because it's duplication and sharing, it means that there is an overflow of everything. Money, love, opportunities, connections, relationships, everything is an overflow. So we love 4s. I love 4s just in general. And it's also, if you think of duplication of knowledge, this is an interesting insight. So when I started my online business, I realized that I could create online courses that are self-study paced sort of courses, and I could make money from them without having to be involved, which is kind of a duplication of sharing and duplication of knowledge, sharing of knowledge, and then it gives me a monetary return without me having to do anything. And that's like the energy of a 4. So it just kind of duplicates itself. So that's a really good one. So this is the visionary. Let's dive into the self-centered right? So the reason I say self-centered is because somebody with karmic force or force in a sort of negative position or connotation, there will be a deep sense of that they have a feeling there's something wrong with them. They would have had some trauma, and they would have had some isolation. They might have some low self-esteem, and they have unworthiness to receive. They feel the unworthiness to receive the flow of God's love and abundance. And the self-centeredness happens because there is no trust, and they turn inward, and they also feel that it's hard for them to share of themselves, and also inability to appreciate their abundance, for example, of children and other things that requires their attention, and their presence. So there is definitely trauma that would have happened, potentially things like some neglect or just the loss of security, because this lack of trust can come from the loss of security and loss of feeling safe. Could even be a betrayal. And this kind of eroded their faith in the world's and abundance, and that the world is very giving if we allow it to be. So they can also, it's called barren to fruitful actually. So they could have experienced some real tough times where they financially, emotionally, all the levels of, feeling safe had been challenged, and they have maybe gone through that from, barren, to fruitful. And often they have to work through this pattern so that they can become more abundant, so they become more expansive, generous, giving, allowing to trust. So if you think of this energy, I think of it as of, an overflow. The cup is overflowing. And I always also suggest a lot of self-care and self-love, and healing those traumas that are so important to heal. Because once we heal the traumas and we feel, whole, and we feel like our cup is overflowing, then it's a lot easier to start trusting. So as a byproduct of healing your trauma, understanding your soul contract, and harness the beautiful, the positive energies of your numbers in your chart, you really can change your life. You can really turn it completely around. And even if you have a really, really good life right now, if you resonate with this energy of the 4, you're probably a high achiever. You love creating success. You want to have impact. You want to teach. So this is an energy of the teacher as well. You want to have impact. You want to teach. You want to be a leader. You want to be a visionary. And then definitely this work is for you. The soul contract. If you haven't had one yet, you can head over to my website, and it is under Work with Me soul contract readings, and then you can book your own one-to-one soul contract reading with me. There's also an immersion package actually. This package could be quite good for leaders, because in the soul contract immersion package we do a personal reading, and then the leader, the person, could also choose from having a relationship reading that will include loved ones and people in their family, and then they could also have a business reading that will start analyzing the frequencies of the different names in the business, including registered company names, email addresses, domains, URLs, and things like that, and even packaging, packages and services. And so this immersion package could be really amazing. I also recommend, if somebody is more interested just in business, to have the personal soul contract reading and then have 2 business readings within this immersion package. And that will really catalyze your leadership, but also your insight on where, if there's anything misaligned, and you feel like things are not going your way, or it's too uphill, it's not flowing enough, this immersion package is brilliant for a good start to start working with me. So you can go and check that out. It's on the same page of the soul contract page on my website under work with me. So that's just like a little side note. Now, the other thing I want to talk about in leadership is like, if somebody is a leader and they don't have the trust in the flow, what is that going to look like for the business and for the team? Even if they're in a paid leadership position, or if it's in their own business, but if there's this anxiety and this worry about a lack of trust, what probably will happen is that they would get some intuitive nudges how to move forward and be bold and take some risks and actually move forward, but then they won't. So they're missing huge opportunities. And what could that cost the company? What could that cost the clients that you're working with? And what could that cost just generally if you're not following spirit, and if you're not taking those bolder steps that you kind of in your gut know are the right steps? What would that look like in the organization? Even if it's a calculated risk, and you're meant to use some of your gut, some of your intuition, and follow that, and then you don't, and then it doesn't turn out at all how you thought it was going to turn out, and it's kind of a bit of a disaster. Then you know that if you would have followed your gut, it would have been a different outcome. And I think this is a bit of a juggle, right, or a struggle even. And some leaders are perhaps too careful, or they might be too risk averse, basically, and that will then also impact the profit, the productivity, everything within their organization, their team. Even if they have a small team, even if you're a business owner, or if you work in leading a team, or if you're leading your own life, leadership can come in so many forms, but I talk about leadership first, leading your own life, and then you can lead your business, and then you can lead a team, and you can go on like that. But that's the crutch, right? So I think if you feel that any of this resonates, and that you think you may have a 4 in your chart, or you think, maybe I should have a name optimization, maybe I should have Jenny to have a look at this and decode my soul contract and check what's there now, and then see how we can create some possible name optimization to bring in the energy of this 4, the visionary, the flow of the universe, the flow of abundance, lots of opportunity, double, triple your income, all those things. Like, it's got to do with money as well, the 4, but doing it from a place of joy and creativity, doing it from a place of true expansion and trust. And that frequency of true expansion and trust really invites in the flow of overflow, and that is material, emotional, spiritual, monetary, in every form. Abundance comes in so many forms, but support really is support from the universe. So yeah, there's more to say about the 4, but I wanted to give you some snippets and insights on these conscious leadership archetypes, so that you can get like a little bit of a head start before you have your reading, or go deeper into a secondary reading or a soul contract immersion. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you next time about the 3rd archetype, and I shall keep that a secret until I release it in a couple of weeks. And I shall see you soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and week. Thank you for listening to Jenny Lyon's Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast. If you're ready to rewire your subconscious mind, clear your programming and collective conditioning, transform your trauma into trust, and step into your soul's calling and true leadership, or if you're ready to unlock your fullest potential, through activating your light body and expand your consciousness exponentially, detangle and clear your past life karma and Akashic records, and setting up for success, launch your online spiritual business, and so much more, then go to jennylyon.love. And if you're receiving value from the show, I would love if you would share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Also, you can join me in one of my live free trainings, and you can find it right on the website, as well as in the link in my bio across all social media. I am Jenny Lyon across all platforms. I wish you a blessed day, and may you live your most authentic self.